안녕하세요. Korean Study Junkie에서 준이쌤입니다. Welcome back to another one of my posts. We have a little bit of something different today. Usually I do something educational. Today we're doing something more, I guess, motivational and also like kind of giving advice. But we're talking about being inconsistent over giving up. Because, yeah, I'm really gonna speak from the heart, I guess. I feel like obviously being consistent is good, but life is not so black and white. We can't always be consistent. And I think a lot of times with learning a language, we often can't be as consistent as we want to be. Just in life, any goals that you have, it's hard to be consistent because we have other things going on in life: school, work, family, social responsibilities, other things. And sometimes we just want to relax, you know? Sometimes you just gotta relax. So these days, I've been being very inconsistent with my study. I'm learning Chinese and I'm learning Japanese these days, but I've been very inconsistent the past month or so. And I've even been inconsistent with just in general work stuff. I do work for myself, but like posting on social media, like I feel I can see my inconsistencies everywhere, if you know what I mean. And sometimes we get so in our head about it and we start judging and it just piles on in our head and like, oh, I didn't do that thing, I didn't study yesterday. Oh, and I still haven't washed my car. Oh, and I still haven't paid the bill. Oh, and I still haven't done this and this and that and that and that and that and that and that, and I haven't been blah, blah, blah. And it just gets you so, it like weighs your brain down, weighs you down. But then I've had an epiphany, I guess, something I've already known, but it just has ricocheted and it came back to me. And I was thinking, I am such an inconsistently consistent person, though. Even though I might be inconsistent in this way, that way, another way, I haven't given up. I haven't stopped altogether. I might post on one social media platform consistently for a month and then ghost for 3 weeks. And I'll come back and post consistently for 5 weeks. Then I'll go another month without posting. But I always come back to it. Or you might go a week without studying here, 3 weeks consistent, 2 weeks off, another week back, another week off. You know, as long as you don't give it up, you're already doing better than most people. Same is said for studying a language. Being inconsistent is much better than giving up. And if you're a perfectionist like I am, that can feel like a killer. Like it's kind of feels like an all or nothing mindset. Like if I'm not all in, if I'm not all consistent, then what's the point? And we might give things up, you know? We need to learn to be more of a in the middle, you know? Like inconsistently consistent. This is not my post. This is from 2022. I had a lot of guest writers on my blog when I first started it, and this is one of their posts. I was thinking about how I'm inconsistently consistent, and then I ran across this post while looking for a new video to make, and I was like, yeah, being inconsistent is better than giving up. Let's see what they have written. So, while learning a new language, the main goal is to master it quickly. But when you begin learning, you often struggle to be consistent, and in the end, you may find it hard and leave it completely, especially when the language is completely different from your native one with different rules and structure. It can be difficult. I know. While they're cooking, they're cooking. The thing is, when we start something new, we get all excited and get carried away, but when we face obstacles, disappointment begins to rear its head like an uninvited and annoying guest. We get agitated and we start making excuses that we may learn later, or like, I'm really tired, or I don't feel like learning, or, you know, whatever excuse we might come up with. If you feel that way, then it's okay. I've been there as well, and I know how difficult it can be to be consistent, but the important part is to not give up. Never give up. Okay, and it looks like they're telling their story if you're interested in looking at the rest. So, TLDR, the whole point of this post is if you ever feel like giving up, just take a break and come back when you feel fresh and confident. Yes, that's me because I had so much going on. I had school, I had work, I had projects and things that I wanted to do, new business ideas, and this and that. It was just so much. And on top of that, I was like, I want to learn Chinese. I've been learning Japanese for years, but I want to keep maintaining my Japanese. And it was just it was like killing me to do it. But I just made myself still study. Even though it was not as much as I wanted then, it was only like an hour, 3 days a week, and maybe a little bit of watching a video in Chinese here and there. And Japanese was I still couldn't get Japanese in because I was so busy. But the point is, I was feeling so drained from all of that. Trying to be consistent. Oh my gosh. Then I just let it go. I had to just let it go for a second. And I told myself, you know what, I'll just take a break for like a week. And next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. And every day I forget that, oh yeah, I maybe should study. But I'm feeling more refreshed is the point. I started to feel burned out of everything. Giving myself a break, you have to give yourself permission in some cases. I know a lot of us, we can be hard on ourselves, especially if you're a super disciplined person, super routine person like me. We have to give ourselves permission to leave something alone for a little bit and come back. Especially if it's the language. If you aren't like 6 weeks into it, if you aren't like 3 months into it, you're going to be fine to take like a week, a few weeks, a month, maybe even a couple of months off. You've been studying for a year or more, you'll be fine. I know it feels like we're going to forget everything. We are going to forget some stuff. That is inevitable. But usually when we turn back to the language, it's usually a lot easier to relearn things. And you'll find you really didn't lose that much. And you can get it back twice as fast, you know? Plus, when we take a break, our brains, there's this literally a scientific study, but I couldn't tell you about it, but it's literally something that happens with your brain. When you take a break from something and you focus on something else, coming back to that thing that was frustrating you to begin with, or the thing you were spending so much focus and concentration on, it's better. It's easier. So I usually find I get a progress boost after taking a break. And that could be you too. So go ahead, just give yourself permission to take a break. You know, if you're already feeling like you're trying so hard with Korean and you're always trying to be consistent and it's just weighing you down, just take a little break and come back, you know? But if you came here like, I'm always so inconsistent with Korean, so I can never make progress, that's a different thing. In the end, just don't give up on it. Just don't give up on it. We all have to find our own way to be consistent. We all have to find our own way to study. If you like my not theory, but that style. If you like the style of being inconsistently consistent, then just keep up with it. You know, obviously, some things, if you have so much going on, which I find usually my students are like that. They have so much going on, so busy all the time that, you know, Korean can be an afterthought because it's just your brain is the space in your brain is taken up by so many other things that you need to do, that you have to do, that you want to do. Korean's in there, but it's just can hardly make the time for it. That if that's you too, then that's kind of how it is. You have to Be okay with being inconsistently consistent for a while until you're ready to lock in. I'm feeling like I'm almost ready to lock back in with Chinese and just be consistent for however long again. So that's okay. It's okay to have periods of inconsistency and periods of consistency. If you do get back to studying and it only lasts you a week, well, you know, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. What else do we have here? If you already have some work to deal with, then take care of that work first. You can be inconsistent. It's not a bad thing as long as you're not giving up. Remind yourself why you're learning Korean. What inspired you to do it? Derive your motivation from it and you're good to go. Oh, wow, this is some good advice. I've actually never read this before. I had so many guest writers that, yeah, I didn't get to read everything, but this is good. This is good. Yeah, so I'm feeling like I'm ready to get back to my Japanese, get back to my Chinese. Let's not compare ourselves to other people, especially when everybody's lives is different, everybody's learning style is different, everybody's needs are different, and things like that. For example, person A, who is a type A person and has a billion responsibilities and things to do every day because their schedule stays stacked, calendar is blocked out. They're always busy, booked and busy. So they can only squeeze in such amount of time for studying versus person B who does not have as much, has half as much on their plate and has 3 times, 4 times the amount of time to study. We can't compare ourselves to people who might be studying 3 hours a day, 3 hours a week. You know what I mean? So let's not compare ourselves. Let's just be humans. You know? Let's be inconsistently consistent until we might be ready to really lock in. Till we have a change in life that allows us to lock in. Until we're not feeling so burned out. Until blah, 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 blah. Whatever your situation is. Anyways, I'm sure like most of the people watching this has left by now, but I'm saying this mostly for myself, I guess. Let's be inconsistent over giving up. And I feel like I can never give up on anything. Gotta be honest. I used to be a person who easily gives up on things. It's like once you pick that one thing and you stick with it, you kind of prove to yourself that you can do that. And so when you start to set more goals, you start to stick to them more and build routines and build discipline. And everything is learning. Even not giving up is learning. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. Okay? Being disciplined takes practice. You don't just have it immediately. You see someone that's disciplined, they did not just wake up with that. It takes practice. Everything does. So let's practice, guys. Let's just practice. Consistency takes practice too. Let's practice. And it's not a thing where once you stop, oh, it's over. Oh, it's the end of the world. Oh, the practice is over. The practice never ends. So it's like, I might be consistent one week, then fall off. That doesn't mean I've lost all progress. That's a trial. Then we have the second trial, and I do it again, and then I fall off. And a third trial, and 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 1,000. It never ends. But you always will get a little bit better. Same to be 1% better. Not even that. A point 0.00001% better every day. That's what I do with my languages. Let's just be the tiniest percent better than I was yesterday or that I was in the past. Okay, I'm going to say that's it because I could really yap on and on forever and ever, but yeah, leave a comment below about your story if you have a story like this, about you being inconsistent over giving up, or how you like to handle this type of things, or give some other people advice. What would your advice be to me or to other people like me in the comments? Or if you need help, ask in the comments. If you need advice about something, ask in the comments, you know? And I'll see you in the next video. Dame bayo.